We often talk about the heart in, these incredibly profound ways, don't we?
Yeah, like a heart connection or giving your heart to something.
Exactly,
Yeah.
taking it to heart. But then there's the biological heart from school, the muscle just pumping blood.
Right.
It feels so different, almost like two completely separate things are being discussed. And yet, for, well, thousands of years, people have instinctively felt the heart was crucial for well-being. They sort of linked it to love, positive feelings.
They sensed something important there.
They really did. It feels like they knew something. Science is only just catching up to now.
That's the fascinating part.
So the big question is, how does this ancient intuition translate into, like, practical benefits for our health, our lives, right now?
Yeah.
That's really our mission today, isn't it?
It is, and it's truly fascinating how modern science is validating that intuition. Today, we're taking a deep dive into heart intelligence, moving, way beyond the old idea of the brain being the only place intelligence lives.
Right.
We'll be pulling key insights from the HeartMath Solution, which offers a systematic, science-backed way to actually activate and develop this intelligence.
So our goal is to find out how consciously tapping into your heart can, well, literally transform your mental state, your emotional health, even your physical health.
Absolutely.
How it can help you navigate these, let's face it, complex modern challenges, and maybe even influence the world around you. We're going to explore the kind of surprising science behind why your heart is, well, just so much more than a pump. Okay, so we've all heard, listen to your heart, right? But it turns out there's some incredible science validating that wisdom.
There really is.
Our source talks about groundbreaking discoveries, this idea of the heart's own intelligence. Can you tell us about this? Brain and the heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Neuroscientists have found something pretty profound. The heart has its own independent nervous system, often called the little brain or the brain in the heart. And get this, it's got at least 40,000 neurons.
40,000. That's a lot.
It is. It's a significant network, and it creates this two-way communication system with the brain up in your head.
So not just brain-to-heart signals.
No, exactly. It's not just orders going down. Signals from the heart actively influence key brain areas, the amygdala, thalamus, cortex. It's a constant dialogue happening. Vital.
That's kind of a mind-bending thought. If our heart has its own brain, essentially, and it's talking back to our brain, then our whole idea of where intelligence comes from, or even what it is, that really starts to shift, doesn't it?
It really does. And what's maybe even more astonishing is the heart's electromagnetic field.
Oh, right.
I read about that. It's huge, roughly 5,000 times stronger than the brain's field.
5,000.
Yeah, 5,000 times. This field doesn't just permeate every cell in your body. It actually radiates outwards. You can measure it 8-10 feet away.
Seriously.
Seriously. Which literally means our internal emotional states, the quality of them, can be transmitted. They can influence others around us.
Like an emotional broadcast signal.
Kind of, yeah. Like cell phones transmitting information, but with, feeling.
Okay, so if the heart is this intelligent, this influential, what does that do to our definition of intelligence itself? We've usually thought IQ tests, cognitive ability.
Right, that very narrow view. For ages, intelligence was seen as mostly mental, maybe fixed, inherited. But then you had thinkers like Howard Gardner back in '85 with his multiple intelligences, showing there's more than just book smarts, right? Interpersonal understanding.
Emotional intelligence came later too, EQ.
Exactly. Reuven Bar-On coined emotional quotient, also around '85, describing people who, recognize emotions, express them, understand others, cope with stress.
So where does heart intelligence fit in?
Our source positions it as this crucial new layer. It's described as an intuitive knowing.
Intuitive knowing.
Yeah, that shows up as beneficial thoughts, helpful emotions, especially when your mind and feelings are balanced, when they're in coherence.
Coherence. Okay, that sounds like a key term.
It is. Think of it like an inner compass, providing this intelligent flow of awareness, insight, guiding you.
Let's talk about stress then. We all talk about it, right? But our source argues it's more than just annoying. It calls it the ailment to be concerned about. That sounds serious. What's so alarming?
Well, it's how sneaky and cumulative it is. It's not necessarily the big shocks, though those matter too.
Right.
It's the chronic stuff, the little daily stresses that just build up and up. They do far more damage, according to the source.
Like what kind of damage?
Consider this. A 10-year study found people who couldn't manage their stress well had a 40% higher death rate.
40%.
Yeah. And a Harvard study found that anger during conflict actually doubled the risk of having a heart attack later.
Doubled.
And worry, chronic worry over 20 years, significantly increased the risk of coronary heart disease. It adds up.
That's pretty stark evidence. So if even these small daily stresses are that bad, what's actually happening inside us biologically?
It's profound, really. Emotions like tension, frustration, sadness. They can literally trigger a drop in blood supply to the heart muscle.
Oh, wow.
It's called myocardial ischemia, and that alone more than doubles heart attack risk.
Okay.
And then deeper, like at the cellular level, chronic stress damages the repair processes for your DNA.
Seriously, DNA repair.
Yeah, and the stress hormone cortisol. It can actually kill brain cells over time.
Yes.
And you can see it, too, if you look at heart rate variability patterns, those HRV graphs.
Yeah.
Negative states like anger, frustration, they produce these incoherent, random, jerky patterns all over the place.
Right.
But positive states, appreciation, love, care, they create smooth, coherent, and ordered patterns, much more harmonious, and that's linked to a balanced nervous system, better cardiovascular function, efficiency.
So it's not just a feeling, it's a measurable physical state, a cascade.
Precisely.
Which makes me think, that advice, just blow off steam, let it out.
Yeah, the catharsis idea.
Right. There's this common belief that blowing your top is healthy. But our source actually pushes back on that, doesn't it?
It really does. Now, holding emotions in, repressing them, that is harmful. It's linked to serious issues, cancer, heart disease.
Okay.
But interestingly, Sigmund Freud, who initially encouraged patients to have these angry outbursts, he actually stopped doing that later.
Oh, really? Why?
And another psychologist, Aaron Siegman, did a study, found that people prone to impulsive anger outbursts were actually at higher risk for coronary heart disease than those who sort of kept it inside.
Higher risk. That's counterintuitive.
It is, but the thinking is reliving those angry feelings over and over. It actually reinforces the neural pathways for anger in your brain.
So it makes you more likely to get angry.
Exactly. Leads to more anger, more aggression down the line. And here's the thing. Your body doesn't care if you feel justified in being angry.
Right. The biology doesn't judge.
Nope. It reacts the same way, drains your energy, causes that stress response, does the damage. Stress, ultimately, as the source says, is a matter of perception.
Not the event, but how you perceive it.
Precisely.
Okay, so if negative emotions create that draining incoherence, how do we, flip the switch? How do we get to coherence? That optimal state where everything's working efficiently, no wasted energy.
Right. That's exactly where the HeartMath solution comes in. It provides these systematic tools to actively generate heart intelligence and coherence. By consciously cultivating core heart feelings, things like appreciation, care, compassion, love, when you genuinely feel those, your whole system shifts towards coherence.
And this isn't just feeling good.
No, it's measurable. It improves hormonal balance, boosting beneficial hormones, reducing stress hormones. It enhances your immune system response.
Wow.
And remember that powerful electromagnetic field of the heart.
Yeah, the super strong one.
Because the heart is the strongest biological oscillator, the strongest rhythmic pacer in the body, when it becomes coherent, it can literally pull the other systems, brain rhythms, respiration, blood pressure, into sync with it.
It pulls them into alignment.
Into entrainment, yeah. Makes everything work more efficiently, more harmoniously, less wasted energy.
That sounds incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive into some of these tools. First up, freeze frame. What is that exactly? How does it work in, real life?
Okay, freeze frame. Think of it as your quick response emotional reset button.
A reset button, I like that.
It's a simple 5-step technique designed specifically to shift you out of that stress, that incoherence, and into coherence fast.
5 steps. What are they, basically?
You start by shifting your awareness to the physical area around your heart. Just focus there. Breathe a little slower, a bit deeper than usual.
Okay. Heart focus, breathing.
Then this is key. You genuinely attempt to feel a positive emotion. Recall a time you felt real appreciation or care, or just a fun, positive feeling. Really try to re-experience it.
So generate a positive feeling.
Exactly. And then, while holding that feeling, you ask your heart, your intuition, what would be a more efficient, less stressful response to whatever situation I'm facing right now?
So you ask for guidance from that coherent state.
Precisely. The source gives this great example of docked children on a totally chaotic plane ride.
Oh, yeah.
Crying baby nearby, someone spills juice, the person next to him has this white knuckle grip on the armrest.
Yeah,
Stressful.
definitely.
He used freeze frame, shifted focus, breathed, found a positive feeling. And first, he just got neutral. Then from there, he could actually feel compassion for everyone, even find some humor in it all.
Instead of getting sucked into the stress.
Exactly. The benefits. Reduces stress right then and there, shifts your perspective, helps you manage your mind, and it has real biological effects. Studies show it helps with hypertension, reduces risk in heart conditions.
So it's like a mini meditation you can do anywhere.
Pretty much. Eyes open, in the middle of chaos. Really practical.
That sounds genuinely useful for daily life. Okay, what about those deeper patterns? The stuff that feels really stuck, those old emotional reactions. Our source talks about CTTHRU for that.
Yes, CTTHRU is designed for exactly that, transforming those deeply stored, often recurring, incoherent emotional patterns.
How does it tackle those?
Well, the core idea is really profound. It says, it's not the problem that causes energy drain as much as the significance you assign to the problem.
The significance?
Yeah. Emotions are energy in motion, right? Your discomfort, the drain you feel, it comes from the weight, the meaning, the significance you're putting on whatever issue is bothering you, not the issue itself necessarily.
So how does CTTHRU help you lessen that significance?
It's a process. First, you acknowledge the feeling. Don't fight it. Just be aware, okay, I'm feeling X about this.
Right, awareness.
Then focus in the heart area again, maybe the solar plexus too. Breathe feelings of love or compassion into that area where you feel the disturbance.
Breathe love into the feeling.
Yeah. Then try to assume objectivity, like you're an impartial observer looking at the situation. Forgive yourself or others involved if that feels appropriate.
Forgiveness is part of it.
Often, yeah. Then, the crucial step. You gently try to soak or relax those disturbed feelings in the compassionate energy of your heart, like dissolving sugar in water. The aim is to dissolve the significance bit by bit.
Dissolve the significance.
Yeah. And after you've worked on that for a bit, you sincerely ask your heart from that calmer place for guidance or insight on how to handle the situation more effectively next time.
Does this actually, change things biologically, too?
Amazingly, yes. There were studies mentioned where people practiced CUTTHRU for just 1 month.
Yeah.
And they had, on average, a 100% increase in DHEA, that's a really beneficial anti-aging hormone, and a 23% drop in cortisol, the main stress hormone.
Wow. Just from this practice, without drugs.
Exactly. It shows you can consciously shift your hormonal balance, the overall benefits, builds emotional resilience, boosts self-motivation, helps with procrastination, increases empathy, and it stops you from wasting energy on repetitive, draining moods. Creates a kind of time shift.
That sounds like deep work, really rewiring things. Okay, and the third main tool was Heart Lock-In for sustaining this state.
That's right. Heart Lock-In is about cultivating and sustaining a deeper connection to those core heart feelings, appreciation, care, compassion for longer periods. It's about daily renewal.
How does it compare to, say, meditation?
It can feel similar in effect. The source mentions Deborah, a successful executive. She found that doing Heart Lock-In for just 15 minutes a day gave her the same sense of peace and inspiration she used to get from expensive weekend retreats.
15 minutes a day. Doable.
Very, and she could do it anywhere. The idea is to actively radiate feelings like appreciation or care from your heart area, maybe focusing on someone or something you appreciate.
And people feel something tangible.
Often, yes. They report feeling warmth around the heart, maybe a liquid feeling, tingling. It's a palpable sense of connection.
And the benefits.
It's deeply soothing, emotionally, mentally, physically. It's shown to have an immuno-enhancing effect, boosting things like salivary IgA.
Good for your immune system.
Definitely. And it helps you connect more genuinely with other people. The source even suggests it can help resolve strained relationships because you're coming from a more sincere, heart-centered place.
Okay, moving from the tools themselves, let's talk about managing emotions generally. Our source says something fascinating. Emotional energy works at a higher speed than thought, meaning our emotional reactions often register in the brain before we even have time for rational thought. What does that imply for trying to control our feelings?
It implies you can't just think your way out of strong emotions.
Right. Mind over matter doesn't always cut it.
Not really. There's a neural pathway, apparently, that sends sensory information straight to the amygdala, the emotional processing center, bypassing the thinking cortex altogether for a first assessment.
The emotional brain reacts first.
Exactly. That's why you need the heart's power, that coherent state we talked about, to effectively balance your emotional state.
How does coherence help?
When your heart is coherent, it helps align your head and heart. This actually facilitates higher brain function, allows the cortex to work better, and gives you access to intuition.
Intuition.
Which the source describes as a direct perception, independent of your step-by-step reasoning process. It's access through that heart connection.
That makes a lot of sense. So if our minds alone can't manage it, what are the biggest internal roadblocks? Things that prevent us from managing emotions effectively? Our source mentions major energy-draining presets.
Yeah, these are like deeply ingrained, almost automatic responses that get hardwired over time, like habits of feeling.
Okay, what are the main ones?
Two really big ones are justification and principle.
Justification and principle. How do they drain energy?
Think about it. We feel angry or hurt or frustrated, and we immediately tell ourselves, well, I have a right to feel this way. I'm justified.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Or it's the principle of the thing. It's just not fair. We rationalize the negative feeling. But remember what we said earlier?
The body doesn't care.
Exactly. Your physiology reacts with the stress response anyway. It doesn't matter if you could win a court case proving you were right. You still experience the energy drain, the hormonal imbalance, the hit to your reasoning ability.
So those little phrases, I'm not mad, just hurt, or it's not right, they're actually fueling the stress.
They accumulate. They ignite so much of our daily emotional stress, often without us even realizing it.
Wow. That's a really powerful insight into how we sort of sabotage ourselves. And that leads to another crucial distinction the source makes. Care versus overcare. What's the difference there?
It's a really important one. True care, as defined here, is an inner attitude. It's about service, wanting the best, but without hidden agendas or attachments to the outcome.
Okay, like genuine well-wishing.
Exactly. And that kind of care is actually rejuvenating. It feels good to give and receive. Think about caring for pets. Studies show it improves owners' health, increases empathy.
Right.
And other studies showed that self-inducing feelings of care significantly boosted immune markers, like IgA. So true care is beneficial.
Okay, so what's overcare then?
Overcare is described as that burdensome sense of responsibility accompanied by worry, anxiety, or insecurity.
Ah, so it's care mixed with negative emotion.
Precisely. It's the source of so many draining states: disappointment, guilt, fear, anxiety. When you overcare, you often get into projection.
Projection.
Yeah, constantly worrying about outcomes, imagining worst-case scenarios, getting lost in fears about the future. That kind of thinking burns through immense amounts of energy.
And the source suggests it can even help create the thing you fear.
Startlingly, yes,
Yeah.
by focusing so much energy on the negative possibility.
Okay, so these presets, justification, principle, and this overcare, they're major drains. What are the heart-powered tools our source suggests to help us overcome these specific patterns?
Well, building on the core tools, two fundamental heart qualities are highlighted as powerful antidotes: appreciation and forgiveness.
Appreciation. How does that help with, say, justification?
Appreciation is described as highly magnetic and energizing. It fundamentally shifts your perspective. It smooths out life's lumps and bumps, as the source puts it.
Puts things in perspective.
Exactly. It helps you see the bigger picture, find the good, even in difficult situations. It's called a fire that resists dousing because it helps you fight off adaptation. You know, how initial enthusiasm for change can fade. Appreciation keeps the positive energy flowing. There's a great story about someone learning to appreciate the discipline and structure in harsh boot camp conditions. The more you practice appreciation, the more you find to appreciate. It breaks negative cycles.
Okay, so appreciation is a perspective shifter. What about forgiveness? That sounds huge, especially for old hurts.
It's presented as the ultimate tool for dissolving those old resentments, the anger, the blame, that justification often fuels.
Right.
The source shares an incredibly moving story of a man named David whose wife was murdered. And he eventually found it in his heart to sincerely forgive the man who did it.
Wow. That takes immense heart power.
It really does. It shows that deep forgiveness is possible, and that ultimately, maybe only love and compassion can truly dissolve those profound hurts. But there's a catch.
What's that?
Watch out for compromised forgiveness. That's when you say, I've forgiven them, but.
The but.
Yeah, that but means you're still holding on to some of the resentment, the energy drain. True, sincere, complete forgiveness is what really liberates you.
It really sounds like sincerity is the key ingredient in all of this, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Your heart knows if you're just going through the motions or if you're genuinely trying to feel appreciation or forgiveness or coherence.
The amount of benefit you get is directly proportional to your sincerity.
So it's about taking these concepts and really making them practical, powerful tools for your actual life.
That's the goal.
Now, stepping back even further, beyond just us as individuals, our sources show this heart intelligence stuff. It radiates outward, right? It impacts families, workplaces, even society. Let's start with family.
Yeah, the family is really described as the primary place where we learn or don't learn these heart qualities.
How so?
Well, get this. Studies found that teenagers who genuinely felt loved and cared for by their parents were significantly less likely to get involved in risky behaviors.
Like drugs, early sex?
Yeah, smoking, alcohol abuse, all of it. And this held true regardless of their social or economic background. That feeling of connection was key.
That's powerful.
And when parents are attuned to their child's emotions, it actually reinforces positive neural circuits in the child's brain. It builds emotional literacy.
So parents using these tools could help their kids.
Definitely. There are even HeartMath programs mentioned, like Corazon, Contento, Happy Heart, used with migrant families. They teach parents and kids things like freeze frame together.
Building skills as a family unit.
Exactly. Fostering those core heart values, emotional management, it builds a collective heart power within the family.
Okay, so if it works in families, how does this apply to, say, workplaces, large organizations? It's easy to see individual emotions mattering, but the source suggests something bigger.
It really does. The source makes this bold claim. The days of the indifferent corporate machine are over.
Interesting.
It argues that organizations aren't just structures, they're living systems composed of people who think and feel.
Living systems.
Yeah. And the health, the resilience, the success of that system depends heavily on the inner quality, the emotional state, the coherence of the people within it.
The companies that focus on this.
Companies that invest in developing these heart-based skills in their employees, they see tangible results. More loyal employees, greater adaptability, more creativity, better performance overall.
Even in places you wouldn't expect, like government.
Even there. Government agencies, often seen as slow to change, have used HeartMath training. And the results show consistent improvements in employee well-being, both physical and emotional. It suggests these principles are pretty universal.
And maybe the most dramatic application is in really high-stress jobs, like law enforcement. The source talks about that too.
Yes, it does. Police officers often work in what described quite starkly as a war zone.
Yeah.
Constant stress, from minor irritations to extreme trauma, and the toll of high rates of illness, burnout, even early death.
How does heart coherence help there?
Well, think about a high-stress situation, like a car chase or a confrontation. If an officer gets overwhelmed by rage or fear, that can actually impair the functioning of their cortex, the part of the brain needed for judgment, moral reasoning, making good decisions.
Which could lead to excessive force, poor choices.
Exactly. But shifting to the heart, using a tool like freeze frame, even briefly, can help them maintain objectivity, mental clarity, make better decisions under pressure, use appropriate force, not excessive force.
And maybe helps them afterwards too. Decompressing.
Hugely important. It helps them recalibrate, leave the intensity of the job at the job so they can actually be present, connected, loving when they get home to their families, not bringing the war zone home.
It really paints a picture of how these internal practices can have such profound external effects, personally, systemically. And then the source takes it even bigger. It talks about a global consciousness climate. What does that mean?
It means that we're living in an era of, let's face it, increasing chaos, complexity, maybe incoherence globally.
Feels that way sometimes.
And the source suggests that our collective thoughts and feelings, billions of us, actually create a kind of consciousness climate around the planet.
Like an emotional atmosphere.
Sort of. Coherent thoughts and feelings, appreciation, compassion, care, they create an uplifting momentum. While incoherent thoughts and feelings, anger, fear, blame, create stress momentum.
And this gets broadcast.
Yeah, person to person, amplified massively by media. It spreads. So managing our own emotional state isn't just personal housekeeping.
It's a contribution.
It's a contribution to the overall climate. The source argues that developing heart intelligence isn't just nice for us, it's actually essential for humanity's evolution.
To shift towards coherence.
To align with that coherence momentum, find new solutions for global problems. It's like discovering this powerful inner technology that we all possess, that we desperately need right now.
Okay, we have taken quite a deep dive today into this surprising world of heart intelligence,
We certainly have.
uncovering how the heart is just so much more than a pump. We've seen the science, the evidence for its influence on our health, our emotions, our ability to connect, even in a world that feels pretty overwhelming a lot of the time.
And what's really striking, I think, is that this ability to shift from feeling stressed, out of control, maybe frazzled, to a state of coherence, clarity, even intuitive insight, it isn't some, airy-fairy idea.
Right? It's practical.
It's a practical, science-backed approach. It's about accessing the wisdom that's already built into your own system. It offers a real path to feeling better, functioning better.
So listening to all this,
Yep.
what stands out to you as you've been following along? How might you begin to apply some of these insights? To shift your own internal climate, to tap into that powerful regenerative intelligence of your heart, maybe just consider this. If your heart really does have its own brain, its own incredibly powerful electromagnetic field, and if it can actually pull your body's systems into harmony, into coherence, what new possibilities might open up in your daily life if you consciously choose to lead more often from the heart? Something to think about.